Strap in, F1 fans, as we're about to dive headfirst into one of the most thrilling rivalries unfolding on the tracks this season. Red Bull Racing, a powerhouse in the world of Formula One, houses two of the sport's most exciting drivers. Max Verstappen, a phenomenal talent who's been turning heads since his debut, and Sergio Perez, a seasoned warrior with an unyielding spirit. Their synergy was expected to bolster Red Bull's assault on the championship. But as the season unfolds, we're witnessing something far more captivating. The stage is set and a riveting battle for supremacy is brewing. So buckle up, because this isn't just about speed anymore. It's about grit, strategy, and most importantly, who rules the Red Bull roost. Stay with us as we navigate the twists and turns of this electrifying rivalry between Verstappen and Perez. As the engines revved up for the current season, both Verstappen and Perez were seen as key assets to Red Bull's championship aspirations. But little did we know that we were on the cusp of an intense rivalry. Verstappen, the Wonderkin, had already cemented his status as Red Bull's frontman. His raw speed and aggressive driving style have thrilled audiences, but he's been challenged like never before this season. And that challenge comes from within his own garage. Enter Sergio Perez, the experienced campaigner who joined Red Bull with a reputation as a savvy racer and a proven track record. His initial role was to be a solid second driver, support Verstappen, and help secure the Constructors' Championship for Red Bull. But Perez had other plans. His performances have been on an upward trajectory this season. He's not just playing second fiddle to Verstappen, he's matching him, stride for stride, on the racetrack. Take the Miami Grand Prix, for instance. Perez wasn't just in the mix, he was taking the fight to Verstappen, pushing him to his limits. This rise of Perez has been met with intrigue and surprise. From being seen as a support act, he's quickly becoming a title contender in his own right, shaking the dynamics within Red Bull. The garage that once belonged to Verstappen seems to be accommodating a new force. But this intense competition isn't without its complications. While the fans are thrilled to witness this head-to-head contest, it's also fueling speculation about friction and power struggles within Red Bull. This evolving rivalry between Verstappen and Perez is turning out to be more than just a battle for points and podiums. It's a clash of egos, a struggle for supremacy, a contest to claim the title of Red Bull's lead driver. And as we move further into the season, the sparks are only set to fly higher and brighter. As we find ourselves engrossed in this burgeoning rivalry, one seasoned F1 veteran, Johnny Herbert, has been watching the developments keenly. Known for his astute understanding of F1 dynamics, Herbert's viewpoint on the emerging power struggle is intriguing. Drawing parallels to a certain unforgettable intra-team rivalry, Herbert alludes to the notorious Mercedes duel between Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg. That saga, filled with intense battles and team politics, captivated fans worldwide. Herbert hints at similar undertones brewing within Red Bull. Let's wind back the clock for a moment. The Hamilton-Rosberg rivalry was a classic example of friendly camaraderie that turned sour. Two top-tier drivers aiming for the same goal. Their rivalry intensified to the point of impacting team strategies and results. Could we see history repeat itself with Verstappen and Perez? Only time will tell. But Herbert doesn't stop at just making comparisons. He offers a piece of advice to Perez, reminding him of the importance of mental strength in this battle. To hold his ground against Verstappen, Perez mustn't allow himself to be relegated to a secondary role mentally. It's not just about driving, it's about believing in oneself as an equal contender. As we reflect on Herbert's observations, one thing is clear. The Verstappen-Perez rivalry has the potential to turn into a spectacle akin to Hamilton and Rosberg's epic feud. But can Perez carve out a niche for himself, ensuring that this doesn't become a one-horse race? Can he keep the psychological balance Herbert spoke of? Now, here's where things take an interesting turn. Herbert further suggests that Perez may need to fight dirty to maintain his ground against Verstappen. An audacious suggestion indeed, but what does this mean for Perez, Red Bull, and the already heated rivalry? Let's dissect this. By fight dirty, Herbert isn't endorsing unfair tactics. He's merely suggesting that Perez must be willing to take the fight to Verstappen, even if it means ruffling a few feathers along the way. So how could this fight dirty strategy pan out for Perez? On the one hand, it could level the playing field, solidifying Perez as a genuine contender. not just in Verstappen's eyes, but in the eyes of the team and the fans. It could push him out of Verstappen's shadow and into his own spotlight. However, the strategy comes with its fair share of risks. Pushing too hard might result in on-track incidents, which could not only cost Perez and Verstappen crucial points, but might also harm Red Bull's quest for the Constructors' Championship. It could strain their relationship, incite team disharmony, and even impact Perez's future at Red Bull. Beyond Perez, the implications of this approach could ripple out into the team, potentially stirring tensions in the Red Bull camp. But internal strife is the last thing Red Bull would want. As we contemplate Herbert's provocative advice, we're left with a sense of anticipation, tinged with a dash of trepidation. Will Perez adopt this aggressive approach, risking potential backlash, but possibly establishing himself firmly against Verstappen? Or will he tread a more cautious path, seeking to balance his own ambitions with the team's broader objectives? Only time will tell. Just as the echoes of Herbert's advice started stirring the F1 community, Red Bull's management found itself in the hot seat, grappling with the implications of this brewing rivalry and its potential fallout. It's now time to take a closer look at how Christian Horner, the team principal, and Helmut Marko, the team's advisor, have responded to this increasingly tense situation. Christian Horner, ever the strategist, has been cautious in his comments, acknowledging the competitive spirit between his drivers. He maintains that both are integral to Red Bull's championship ambitions. He emphasizes that the team values a healthy rivalry, but won't let it derail their collective goals. His message is clear: competition is encouraged, but teamwork is paramount. Helmut Marko, known for his frank views, echoes Horner's sentiments, but with a hint of his characteristic bluntness. He reiterates the team's support for both drivers, emphasizing that they have free rein on the track as long as they don't compromise the team's interests. Marko's comments reflect a delicate balance, a fine line that both Verstappen and Perez are expected to tread. What does this mean for Red Bull? Firstly, it puts them in a challenging position of managing two fiercely competitive drivers while ensuring their rivalry doesn't spill over into unwanted conflict. Secondly, it brings an added layer of complexity to their team strategies. Dealing with this could be a double-edged sword for Red Bull. Handled adeptly, it could push both drivers to exceed their limits, providing the team with an advantage. But any misstep could escalate tensions and hamper their championship dreams. As Horner and Marko steer the Red Bull ship through these turbulent waters, their actions and decisions could shape not just the fate of their drivers, but also the legacy of Red Bull itself. And with that being said, we come to an end of the fascinating tale of Verstappen and Perez. We've delved into the making of this thrilling rivalry, peeked into Johnny Herbert's wise counsel, and weighed the possible consequences of Perez deciding to fight dirty. From drawing parallels with the epic Hamilton-Rosberg feud to dissecting the role of Red Bull's management in this saga, we've navigated the curves and straights of this intriguing F1 storyline. As the season progresses, the stakes are only getting higher, and each Grand Prix could potentially tip the scales in this power struggle. In the races to come, we'll be watching this rivalry unfold, each twist and turn adding another chapter to this saga. What are your thoughts? Will Perez heed Herbert's advice? Can Verstappen maintain his top dog status? How will Red Bull manage this high-stakes balancing act? The stage is set for a thrilling showdown, and we're just getting started. So buckle up, because this F1 season promises to be one hell of a ride. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join us as we continue to explore this epic battle for Red Bull supremacy. Till then, keep your engines revving and your spirits high. See you on the grid.